Nobody else is allowed to come in. Okay. Right, here we go. Happy birthday. Who's going to start singing happy birthday? Can we? I am. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear BizNews. Happy birthday to us. Oh, well, fantastic. Well, this is a very first effort that we are trying here. As you can hear, we've got our colleagues here in the studio. Let's just start off. There you can see on screen. You got Stuart's very happy face in the left corner there. Okay, and Clive and Dudu. How's it, guys? You got the cake there. Eh?
Yeah, Alec, we do, and it smells gorgeous.
Okay, that was made by Jet. Who made the cake?
Made by a neighbor who is 80 or 92 years old, and starts baking every morning at 3 o'clock.
And when you're talking about someone who's a lot of maturity, Max Clark is our honorary president. Max is 95 and recovered from COVID. Good to see you, Max.
Yeah, thank you. Good to be here.
Okay, and you also are mystery shopper and the person who always checks whether or not we are doing the correct pronunciations and grammar, etc.
Spot on. Get your T's crossed places.
Max, when were you born? How many years ago?
About 95.
95. We do have a president of great standing. Lovely to have you here with us, Max. Max is also, of course, Jeanette's father. Jet, you're not allowed to play with your phone when you're on here, because I can see you, and so can everybody else who's in the community and everyone on YouTube for generations to come. And Warren is a shareholder in BizNews. Warren, great to have you with us here for a quick little chat. Are you happy with your investment, most importantly?
I'm thrilled, Alec. I can't wait till you start paying some dividends, though. I'll settle for a slice of cake for today, though. Congrats to you and the team. It's been a phenomenal achievement. And I think we've been around for the last, it's almost 2 years. I must check the exact date we inked the agreements, but it's been a thrilling ride and learning so much just being involved with you. So onwards and upwards to you and my hearty congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Warren. And we've just come out of a meeting just a few moments ago on Altvest, which is your creation, your invention that we've been telling our community about. You guys are doing fantastic, innovative stuff, and we look forward to spreading the word about Altvest. You've been in a number of the meetings there, Stu. It's an exciting concept, eh?
Definitely, Alec. I think it plays to what we believe in: democratized investments for all. And I'm sure Warren will give us more insight in many interviews to come. But yeah, it's a fantastic concept, and we look forward to getting it growing. Hey, Warren?
Yeah, we're very excited. We had a very exciting phase of the process. And, as part of the ethos of democratization, I'm sure we'll look back at this in a number of years, but we've involved the community in actually critiquing our process and adapting to that critique where possible and where feasible. And it's been quite thrilling to see, that there is a consensus on a lot of things, but certainly we've learned some things that we hadn't thought about, that we have the privilege now of implementing before being bombarded with complaints or critique on a hard launch day. So the soft launch that we undertook last week has been phenomenal. We've been averaging almost 800 registrations. It's fantastic by any metric, and so far so good. So we'll keep you guys up to date on all of that.
Brilliant, Warren. Well, lovely to have one of our shareholders here. I know Jeanette is delighted at the fact that her father is here with us as well. What kind of a role's Max played with us? Jetty, if you think about going back 8 years. Crumbs, 8 years today that we had that little...
Yeah, I think Mystery Shopper says it all. He's always the first to say we've left out a comma, or the spelling isn't right, or an email didn't come through. So we love that feedback. We love any feedback, and I think in life we don't encourage enough of it, because it's through the feedback that we actually grow.
You see, I'm like multi-skilled on this. Charles is 'n potgooi man. Hallo Charles, hoe gaan dit man? Kan ons 'n bietjie Afrikaans gooi daar?
Hallo Alec, ja, hierso is ek en dan almal wat Afrikaans is wat luister. Baie dankie. Kan julle hoor? Ek is my mic aan.
Ja, no, we got you loud and clear, Charles.
Dit gaan baie lekker man, dit gaan lekker. Ek geniet dit vreeslik baie. Dit is 'n groot voorreg.
And actually, it's a new idea of ours to get into the into potgooi Afrikaanse mark, né?
No, definitely, Alec. I think there's a massive community, as we know, and what we try and do is create content that they can consume in their own environments. And I think this is part of that journey where you're creating content that people can consume, how they listen to things, rather than how we think everyone should listen and see things. So it has been, I think, for a few years. I mean, we had Clipco's years ago. We didn't quite get it, but now I think with Charles on the ground, there's a lot more focus, and I think it will work quite nicely.
Unfortunately, we aren't, because of our Power Hour partnerships on English stations in Cape Town and FMR and Chai FM up here in Johannesburg. We can't really run Gooi die Taal, but Charles, we're gonna be pushing much more emphasis onto potgooi as we go forward, and getting you to speak English as you have been speaking now for a minute. But good to have you with us. We haven't heard from another member of our team yet. Here's Clive. Geez, Clive, you're the most famous member of our team, and we haven't introduced you yet.
No, not the most famous.
I bet you there are like 100 million people in India who disagree with that. All the cricket fans. Clive Eckstein is our commercial director and transforming our fortunes into the future, Clive.
It's been a journey. I've been here, 1st of July was the year. And, you know, when you think about what's happened in that year, it's incredible. You know, I've just written down a few things, but the conference, you know, I remember how we came up with it. We sat around a table, and not 5 weeks later we had a conference. It was a huge success.
And we got another one coming at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Conference in the Berg.
Yeah, it might be a bit colder, but should be good.
But it's quite interesting that because of in the time of COVID, we haven't been able to go as big as we'd like to. How many bookings do we have at the moment for this conference?
Well, we've got 100 people with partners and all of that, but we are restricted from COVID. So hopefully things happen over the next few weeks, and we can open it up just before the conference and get the community there.
Go Cyril. Let's hope that does indeed happen. Okay, I see David Melville is going to join us. How's it, David? I'm bringing you in from the green room. A community member. There are lots of other community members, I'm sure, who I know they're in the green room waiting to come through. David, do you want to give us a message, a statement? How's it? David, do you hear us?
Yes, Alec.
Yeah, we got you, eh? We got you loud and clear. Go for it, man.
Shucks, man. I've been listening on the other thing.
Okay, but you're now on our live BizNews TV channel. We're all watching you. David?
Alec, yeah, no, thank you. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I can't thank you what you're doing. Oh, good.
We can hear you. Yeah, keep going.
I try to tune in most days and catch up if I miss out. Oh, good, man.
That's
Sorry.
great.
So
No, it's
grateful what you're doing and putting me on the map. And so many wonderful concepts have come together. And you're a great networker. So thank you, Lord, for bringing England back to throw anchor down. It's really, really been wonderful. And the educational value is outstanding that's achieved through your program. So 10 out of 10, and keep up the good work.
Brilliant, David. Thanks, man, and thanks for as you say, bringing us back from England. Jetty, he was thanking you for actually coming back to South Africa after our little stint there. We were there for a year, and ended up being 3 years. And Max, I hope the family's happy that your daughter's back home.
Yes.
Okay. Andre de Vet is going to join us now. How's it? Another community member. Andre, I hope you can see us and hear us loud and clear. You are on the air. Not anymore, Andre. It doesn't seem like you're using Chrome, I'm afraid. You got to use Chrome to actually participate in this. Sorry about that. But I know who is going to be joining us now is our colleague, Nadia Swart. And she knows how to use the different vehicles. There we go, Nadia. How's it in Cape Town today?
Sorry, I was listening to you guys. Oh, it's so nice. Very, very nice. Beautiful day. Yeah. Happy birthday, BizNews.
Yeah, happy birthday to you too. How long have you been with us now, Nadia?
Since the 30th of March last year.
Okay, and it's gone okay? Stuart hasn't been too tough?
Oh, it's laughable because it's not even on the spectrum. It's the most chilled person I've ever worked with, ever. It's so cool. Seriously.
Thanks, Nadia. That's a good sales point for my CV, but I'll take it.
Take it, it's true. Yeah, no, it's been amazing. Absolutely incredible, learning every day.
And it's also been, I know you and Jeanette have been talking a lot over the past 18 months. Is she doing a good job as a chief happiness officer? Whatever that means.
Yeah. You know, she's chief happiness officer to BizNews, but she's my personal fairy godmother. So I'm serious. Yeah, no, well, it's like it comes with a great package, so it's amazing.
And we look forward to opening our Cape Town office soon, Stu.
Definitely.
Yeah. Lots of fun, lots happening down in the Cape. So, okay, Nadia, we've got a lot of community members who are going to say how's it to us. So lovely seeing you.
Awesome. And, yes, you too. I'll keep on watching.
And we'll be listening to you again tonight on the Power Hour, as always.
Awesome.
Cheers, man.
Okay, cool. Have fun, guys.
Thank you. Bye then.
Bye.
Okay, let's see if John Gardner is ready to talk to us. Hi, John. This is all experimental. So if you can hear us, John, you're cool. You can go ahead and you can talk. I'll say there we go. That looks like, we got you. We got you on screen and we've got you. We can see you. So all yours, John. The floor is yours as a community member.
Are you talking to me, John Gardner?
I am indeed, yeah.
Yeah, I'm blown away by BizNews ever since it started. And I think particularly because you're the only newspaper that's giving any sort of dialogue to the alternatives to the vaccine and the whole vaccine agenda. And you've covered ivermectin. And in fact, I've recently had COVID. Here I am, alive and kicking. Took a double dose of ivermectin as recommended with the Delta virus, and 2 weeks later up and running and fine. Obviously also took all the other, I boosted my vitamin D beforehand, and I took a bit of steroids and et cetera. But I think also what's particularly alarming me, I've been in medicine for 40 years, is that the very toxic vaccines are being pushed. There's no long-term studies. They've got a horrible oxide in them, which is sort of magnetized, which may even be switched on by 5G. That may all be, apparently the scientists have had a look at it. They found in the Pfizer, it's called, I've just forgotten its name. It's a type of oxide, but that's why the magnet sits when you put it on your arm. So I think
brilliant. Well, John, thanks, man. Thanks for giving us those insights and for your very kind words that you had to say about BizNews. We don't want this to get taken off YouTube, do you, Stu? So let's not go into the anti-vax kind of arguments.
We've been down that path once already, Alex.
Been there, done that. What was that, Clive? It was
2 strikes you're out. With YouTube. We've got to be very mindful.
Yeah, it was a large. Yes. Kerry has arrived. Hello, Kerry. I'm sure you and Kerry, those who don't know her, as you can see, this is experimental. We're going to have to do something about swapping seats, I think, or moving you closer. You go cuddle up closely to Jeanette. I don't mind.
Never a problem.
Never a problem. I agree. Carrie, nice to see you. Carrie is our Friday night specialist, Carrie's Corner.
And I brought champagne for us.
Well, I'm sure the team is going to be delighted. I've got a little bit of chocolate cake to share with my tea.
And garlic-free pizza.
Brilliant.
That's a secret.
Happy birthday, BizNews.
Happy birthday. Thank you very much. Carrie, have we ever told anyone about the wine club yet, or are we keeping it as
We gave them a sneak preview last Friday. And Stuart and Clive and I are just sorting out the pricing now, today.
Okay.
And then I think we're ready, steady, go on Monday.
Okay.
We can start buying wine in the BizNews wine shop.
That's going to be amazing. And why should we be buying wine in the BizNews wine shop?
Because BizNews is a big success story. We're not going to put horrible wine into our wine shop. And we've organized competitive pricing. And you can you get free delivery. And you can fill up your glass while you listen to Alec.
Well, I would have said it's because we've got you as our partner. Because what I know as a non-drinker about wine is kind of worse than dangerous. Almost as bad as Stuart. No, you know a lot about wine. You sample it.
Every Friday, we used to in WeWork. We used to sample every Friday. I see that's changed with the shift.
No, I'm on my own on a Friday. Dudu and I do a bit of drinking.
Dudu? Are we?
Kerry, I thought that was our little secret. No secrets.
Okay, let's get back to our community. And here's Matthew. Matthew Commons. It says that you're going to be joining us in a moment, Matthew. If you can hear us, not on that one. That's we are trying this for you, so please just have patience with us. Aha! Before we go to Matthew, another member of our team has managed to get through. Lindy, where? Lindy? There you are. How are you, Lindy? Lindy, can you hear me? Yeah, I think Lindy, you're gonna have to switch off your YouTube and talk to us on Riverside. No, we lost Lindy. Hello.
I think Lindy was talking about wine as well, so that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, got a little excited about the wine club for sure. Lindy is what does Lindy do, Stu?
Lindy.
I mean, I know what she does, but
we call her the production magician. Hey, Lindy, she makes magic in the back end that people get to see in the front end. You know, the hidden hand, as they say. And she produces our BizNews Digest. Let me not forget the weekly taste of everything we do. So very long-serving, important, integral member of our team, Alec.
Yeah, and like Clive and I, ex-MoneyWeb. Yeah. We came from MoneyWeb all those years ago. Net, Clive.
Yeah, it's a long way, and actually something I'd love to ask you. And how's it changed? How the landscape has changed from the late 90s to where we are today. It's amazing.
It's it was funny this morning when I wrote I better look that way. When I wrote the newsletter this morning for the premium members, I had a look back at the note that I wrote that Jeanette will remember very well on the 25th of October. I remember you said to me that when I left MoneyWeb, it was like the only time you'd seen me looking so rough was after Travis died, my son. So it really was, Clive, it was quite an emotional thing. But looking back now, it's the best thing I don't mean that flippantly, but it's the best thing that could have happened business-wise, because without that, there'd be no BizNews. How have things changed dramatically? Look at us now. We're completely independent. We can report the truth in the way that as close as possible to get to it. We don't have anybody that, apart from our community that we serve, and that can influence the way that we serve our country and our community. And we do have very strong standards that we can and are able to set with. So it's been such a privilege to be with colleagues like Jeanette and Stuart for all this, the whole journey. And our nephew, who was our very first, Justin, who was our very first webmaster. We certainly have come a long way from there. It's BizNews is a phenomenon. You know, when we were looking at the numbers the other day, we now serving. We touched last month 1.6 million people. I mean, Stu, that's like crazy, Clive. That's 1.6 million. We were never even close to that at MoneyWeb.
No, it's unbelievable. I think you have to pinch yourself at times, you know, how it's changed. And I remember when we were starting to sell advertising on the internet and how it's changed today and how we generate income today versus then. It's so different.
Jet, it's also very different when it comes to the way that the team operates. Because I think here at BizNews, right from the beginning, from day one, 8 years ago, we decided this will be a team game.
Yes, I unfortunately wasn't privy to how MoneyWeb worked and the intricacies with regards to the team then. But today, it's if you're not part of the team, if you do not share the values, then you can't be part of the team. And our values are things like honesty, openness, integrity. We allow each other to be vulnerable. We play. We have fun. What else?
Sounds very girly.
Work very hard. Your husband works harder than anyone I know.
And as a result, we support each other. We've got an incredibly supportive environment. I don't know anybody who wouldn't jump off a cliff or work till midnight for someone if they needed it. We got people around the world and a beautiful little team in Cape Town. And they're talking to each other. We're talking to them all the time. And sometimes at midnight, there's still stuff going on. Because they need it, because the news needs to be published.
No, you're right off, Mark. You need to do this more often. Bring the microphone closer to you. Yeah.
Who taught you about this? Oh, golly.
Speak to the sticker.
Wees vir haar.
Who taught you about that dot?
Oh, the little. Okay, I'm going to try again with community members. Let's try with Matthew. So, Stu, you maybe just Matthew. Can you hear us now?
I can, yes.
Okay, great. You're on our air. You're on our BizNews TV. Welcome to our birthday party.
I feel very privileged, Alec.
Great, man. Have you got a message for us, a question, just to say hi?
Sure. I didn't know I was going to be live, but yeah, greetings.
It is an experiment, Matthew. So
no, it's pretty cool, Alec. Sure, I didn't think I'd get this opportunity, but yeah, I'm based in White River, just outside Nelspruit, eastern side of the country. And yeah, try and listen to you guys when I can, and always really enjoy the material, the content, the sense of humor, and the quality of the guys you have on the call, Alex. So I'm a big fan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matthew. It's such a pleasure to hear from you, and thanks for your support. As we do serve our community. That's what it's all about. Hey Stu. Right from day one, that's what we said we'll be doing.
It's the center, Alex. It's everything we do is for the community, and it's so nice to see it growing.
Miriam, I'm hoping that you can come through. No, we lost Miriam. Okay, let's see what. There's an old friend, Noel Fisher. I know you're not going to swear on air, Noel. I hope if you can get through. There we go. Look at you. How's it?
Are you talking to me, Alec?
I am, Noel. You're on air. You with us?
Can
Good
you
to
hear?
have you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, no,
we can.
I was actually having a bird's eye view on your YouTube broadcast, but I just really wanted to wish you a very happy 8th birthday. I drink coffee regularly from your commemorative mug that you sent me, and enjoyed very much. And I just love the depth of your programs. In fact, your file is the very first one that I open every morning. So
That's so cool. Thank you, Noel. You got to thank Jeanette for the mug.
Really?
Just explain. Yeah, you see, we all got them. There's there we go. You can't really see it too well, but
yeah.
Jet, what was the idea with the mugs for the communities? Now you're right. You're going to need to move over.
The first 10. The
Yeah.
first 10 community members got a mug.
The first 10. So you know, I can know which 1 to 10, Noel, but you're in the first 10. So I'm so cool. It's so great that you've actually come through.
Oh well, that's marvelous. But as I say, for me, it's a daily tonic, and I look forward to it. It's actually wishing my life away in a way.
And whereabouts do you live?
I'm out in Broad Acres, Four Ways area.
Okay, so up here in the Harveld. Well, lovely,
Yes.
lovely talking with you, Noel, and thank you for taking the effort to actually come through our torturous processes. But it is a first for us, and well, we look forward to having you guys in our studio next year. That'll be and as you're one of the first 10, you'll get one of the first 10 invitations. Be sure of that.
Yeah, no, thank you, Alec, and good luck for the next 8 years. I hope they're even better.
Brilliant. Stu, it's amazing when you actually talk to community members like Noel, because it goes back to the very beginning, and that's really what it was all about. People who started with you and are still around.
I think it's also fascinating that you've been able to stick around in a sense. So the product has been good enough to keep that interest over 8 years. And I know Noel mentioned the next date. I'll say if you flip it on the side, it's an infinity sign. So for as long as we can go.
Oh, gee, now that's clever.
And even Noel's wearing our BizNews blue. So
yeah, but Clive, the important thing is that you wearing
I've
the
got
BizNews
BizNews blue. I've even got the veldskoen with the BizNews blue on today.
Okay, sorry, we just. Okay, there. You see, I told you this is There we go. Okay, we go. Trying to get Peter Steele. Doesn't look like we're having much luck there with Peter. And we're now trying. I'm going to try Lindy again and see if Lindy can actually. Our colleague Lindy. See if we've got Lindy. Can you now hear us?
Okay, can you hear me?
Ah, there we go.
Yes.
Better. Lindy, how long have you been serving the BizNews community? Lindy, hello.
No, I was going to say. Sure. I was going to say on the this morning we were talking about fiber and ADSL. Then we're going to have to get you fiber in your area. You're on the ADSL sign, I think, there with the broadband, eh?
Yeah, Telkom is. No, let's not say anything about Telkom.
Easy.
It's a happy day. It's a happy day.
One of the companies that we've had a kind of a difficult relationship with, the telcom.sa.net. Every now and then they decide to just block all of our subscribers' emails who were telcomsa.net. So our message to everybody is, if you've got a telcomsa.net account, please get a Gmail account and then it'll get through. Okay, Lindy, once we get you back onto fiber, I promise you, next year you'll be on fiber, or we'll get it into your area. But lovely that you could at least share a couple of words with us. Kerry, what do you think about this crazy bunch of people that you've gone and got yourself involved with?
I love them. I've only had the privilege of contact with BizNews team since January this year, really, or February, when we all came back from holidays. And everybody brings a different little facet to the diamond that is BizNews. And it shines and sparkles bright. We have lots of fun. We do lots of in-depth stuff. We rip people to pieces. We laugh at them. We drink with them. We support them. We do whatever. It is exactly what a journalistic business should be all about. And you, big chief sitting boss, are the best. You are. He is the best, isn't he, guys? He works tirelessly, endlessly to make it all happen. Alec, you are amazing.
So you always lead from the front, Alex. So
100%.
Well,
I'm thank you very much for that. But
you weren't expecting that, were you? Now, Jeanette, we're on to you. Jeanette, too. It's just a fabulous team. Hey, Stu, dude, Clive, it really is a privilege to be led by two people who put absolutely everything into making sure it's all perfect.
No, it has been. It's been, as I say, when I left MoneyWeb, I moved into other places, but I stayed in touch with you the whole time. And to come back, it's not often you get a second chance to work with someone, and to work with the team at BizNews has been an incredible journey. It's a year, but it's just so much fun, and you want to be at work and you want to be a part of it. And Stuart said it earlier, the community is at the center of our world, and we need to grow it. And as you see, every single day it gets bigger and bigger, and more engagement. And one thing we're not scared of doing, and Alec, this is where you do lead, you're not scared of trying things. And today is a good example. We don't always get it 100%, but we, under your leadership, you're happy for us to try things and get out there and push the envelope.
Yeah, so that's klar, you said it all. I think it's almost 7 years now for myself, Alex. So it's been, I mean, you go back to the MoneyWeb. I remember when I first, just before I joined, I suppose I can mention his name was Ashton and yourself, and I went to you and I said, Ashton said he might have a discussion after the Bloomberg TV thing fell apart, and you were like, no, come here. And from there it's just been upwards. It's been fantastic.
That was actually, it's quite funny, isn't it? That, well, just for those who don't know, Stu was running Bloomberg TV Africa. He was the head honcho there. And it was you tell the story. It was a Nigerian franchise or something.
Yeah, so the Nigerian company got the franchise for Africa, but it just, well, to be frank, there's just not enough money coming in. And it just fell apart, I think, after 8 months. And it was quite sad because we brought, Karen sort of went first. She was my head at CNBC, and she went across, and we took a whole team across, and it platzed. So yeah, and then what I say, from the ashes, there's always some goodness, and that's good to touch base with yourself at CNBC, and then obviously work across the pathway at the JSE. And yeah, this is where it's led us. It's been an amazing journey. I was actually going to ask you on that, Alec. I asked you earlier. I said your dream when you started business to where it is now, the reality. Is it more than you ever expected? I just don't know, because from where I'm sitting, we've really trailblazed a lot, and I just don't know how you can see with this industry what's coming next. But it's.
I remember listening one day to, I think it was actually, I know Warren's, let's just see, bring Warren in here. It was I think it was a Business Times, just after Warren, just after you guys got control of Arena. I remember we went to that Business Times Top 100 Companies event, and somebody there was saying, if you want to go quickly, you go on your own. But if you want to go far, you go in a team. And when I started BizNews, literally it was like, Jet, you remember, it was Justin helped us. Our nephew's a marine biologist who's doing great stuff himself, to put the website together. And then we had some help from Jill Moody's husband. Remember his name? Anyway, Andrew Trench, and he was Jill's techie. So he then converted the website that Jill Moody had into our website, so it was a little bit better. But I did all my forecasts, and I'm a bit of an Excel spreadsheet jockey, and in those forecasts and everything, I estimated that we would eventually get to 50,000 unique visitors. That was my target. That was one day we'd get to 50,000 people. And as I say, last month was 1.6 million. So it's a 32x above what was anticipated. But I think the difference, and I'd love to hear your view on this, Jet, is that if you were going to go on your own, you could maybe go faster. But the success of this business has been the team.
I don't really know how many more or different ways to say it, but when you look at any other team, the rugby team, I mean, wasn't that game absolutely incredible? And you could see the minds of those people. When their minds are okay, they are okay. And we've looked after, well, I hope we have. That's certainly our intention, is to look after the minds of our team, because that's what it's about. If people are okay, they can reach the stars. If they're fearful, if they come to work fearful about things, we help them. We sort through things at that level, because once you're free from the fears that we all have, the fears that we've grown up with, once we're free of that, then life is amazing.
Abundant.
Then we can dream, and it's abundant. And we talk about abundance a lot. And what we've done is beyond what we ever thought that we could get to. But we haven't limited ourselves at all in what we do, in how we think.
Do you see us on screen now? Is Alan Whiteside joining us from the UK? Hey, Alan, how's it, man? Good to have you with us today on this birthday day.
Well, how could we not celebrate this birthday day? You're a shining beacon of Africa.
Oh, thanks, Alan. And you're a shining beacon of hope when it comes to trying to understand what's going on with this pandemic, the COVID pandemic. You've been producing your own blog, or rather newsletter, that you've been sending out for since the beginning of the pandemic. Are you still doing it? Because I notice it's getting a little more sporadic nowadays, not surprisingly.
I am going to do one final one for a number of reasons. I've pretty much said everything I can say that adds to people. When I started it, the very first issue I published was for friends and saying, this is what I think you need to know. I need to know. I know a lot about infectious diseases. Well, this is what you need to know. So I don't think I have a lot more new to say. And it's become so complicated. I'm going to hold up two books, which I hope you can see. This is called The Spike. And it's Jeremy Farrar, who's at the Wellcome Trust. And this is from our friends up at Oxford University who developed the AstraZeneca virus. With that sort of weight of paper that I need to read through, I don't think I've got a lot more to say, to be honest. I'm going to carry on posting, and if you're on my subscription list, you need to get off it, because it's now going to be my idiosyncratic view of the world. And it'll include items such as the Swifts departing from Norfolk for you guys down in South Africa.
Well, maybe that would make a little change of pace for all the Professor Alan Whiteside fans. But thanks, Alan. It's been great to be able to have the privilege of publishing your content over the past 18 months. And Stuart, has been a privilege. I mean, we've apart from Alan, there've been a number of other contributors who really have made BizNews into what it is today, and a bit of an open platform, if you like.
Goes back to the community there, Alec. It's not, you don't just provide, but the community supplies, and you create this a circle where we're not the experts, as we always say. I know you spoke about the thin line, good general knowledge, but the community are the experts, and they can provide insight for the rest of the community that we can't. We just sort of facilitate and give the platform for it to be produced on. So,
Ellen, I'd love to get your view on that, given your depth of knowledge. We as journalists, we believe anyway at BizNews, we know a little bit about a heck of a lot of things, but only a little bit. And so we believe in providing a platform where we can then facilitate the experts, people like you, who spend your whole life investigating infectious diseases, HIV, AIDS, etc., so that you have a platform. And then what we also believe in is both sides of the story, or all sides of the story, because nobody has a monopoly on truth. You guys know a heck of a lot more about any expert knows a heck of a lot more about their subject than we would as journalists. But if we can facilitate it, then everybody benefits, because there's a greater supply of knowledge to go around.
Couldn't agree with you more. And I think probably the thing which you guys need to debate is how best to get that information over. As an academic, my goal is to publish in peer-reviewed papers. But as an activist, I want to get information out to people, and that means producing short briefs. And then as a communicator, I want to publish in which So you see, there's a real danger. So much information out there that we're all an inch wide. And somehow you, and this is your task, is to find people who are an inch wide and a mile deep and somehow translate what they're saying into things that the rest of the community can understand and use to inform their lives.
And what was interesting was when we had a debate with Nick Hudson, you and Nick Hudson were debating things. Of course, there were areas that you disagreed on, but my goodness, there was a lot of middle ground. And that seems to be the same as us as human beings, our species. Often we focus too much attention on where we don't agree, but actually it's probably 80% of us, we are on exactly the same page.
I think that with Nick Hudson, it was so that's an element of South Africa. Pointed out to me is it's really important how we communicate. The danger of experts coming across as arrogant, and I think that is something that you have to mediate in that setting. But you're right; it was a very, very good debate. If you look at some of the other things that are going on here, there's in the COVID world, and they're getting airtime which they shouldn't get, but you shouldn't necessarily shut everybody down. So it's a very fine line that you're walking in dealing with this epidemic. I mean, if you get somebody coming on the show and saying, "Oh, there's no such thing as COVID," I hope you wouldn't get somebody coming on the show. And we certainly saw that in the time of AIDS, because I was part of the Mbeki AIDS dissident panel way back in 2000. So I am very, very concerned that we don't censor, but we don't allow really damaging material to get out there. Make the decisions on that.
Alan Whiteside, it's just a privilege to have you with us today. Thanks, Alan, for joining us.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Pity you aren't here and you can't have a slice of cake with us, but anyway, maybe, who knows, maybe next year when we've got our London office or in time to come, we will have people like that's what we did in the UK. Carrie, you've lived in the UK for a period of time.
I did.
I
wish I was back living there, actually.
Oh, Carrie. No, you don't.
Well, sort of half and half.
50-50.
Jeanette and I are going to go and do half of the year in the Cotswolds. You don't know about it yet, but we are.
Borky?
She giggled nervously.
Indeed she did. But it is an interesting, those 3 years that we spent in London and getting to know our community over there, and lots of them who are, of course, what was very interesting for me was the number of South Africans who were working in the UK, who kind of had South African other South Africans as their friends. It's almost like we're a tribe, we're a nation, and we're more comfortable in the company of others from our tribe.
But I think it's about expanding our minds. We learned so much, and we hope that we've brought back, and we can continue to, because we've still got people in the UK who bring us news, who bring us stuff, and that's just making us and South Africa a better place.
Yeah, I guess that's what it's about, hey, Stu? Expanding the mind, expanding the horizons. And that's what we said from the outset, if you recall, that we are here to serve the globally minded South African.
Agreed. Like, also, you need the helicopter view we always talk about. Sometimes you get too embroiled in what's happening on the ground, and when you're in it, you can't see the wood for the trees, as they say. But it's nice to have the helicopter view and bring that insight back to the discussions and stuff. So yeah, definitely part of what we try to produce as well as a business.
Dudu, are you watching the YouTube channel there? Have we got people sending questions or?
I am. There's Diana Engelbert who says, "Hello, everyone." Just that.
Hello. Okay. Well, thanks, Tia.
Hello. And they go on to say, "Can we turn up the gain on the Dani's volume?" Oh, which Dani? But anyway, thank you for those messages. We have, I think, 40, 45, 42 concurrent views. So people are there watching with us and celebrating and hopefully wishing us well.
Okay.
Ask them if they drink wine, Dudu.
Must we ask them if they drink
ask
wine?
them how many of them are going to come shopping in the BizNews
Of
wine
course.
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they shop? Now they have a new platform, right? Great.
And it is live, so they can actually put questions there.
They definitely can, Alec. There's a space there for them. There's even the Riverside birthday link that I put out there for them if they want to join in the action.
Okay, so they can always, if they want to, they can actually come on screen. Very nice. Which brings me back to one of our success stories, which was webinars. If you remember when we started webinars with a global portfolio with Standard Bank, I mean, we'd scrape like 10 or 20 people at a webinar and we'd think that was really good going.
No, it goes back to that trying new things though. Webinars took off because of COVID, let's be honest. No one pre-COVID was really embracing webinars, but we did them before. We were doing them weekly for the Rational Radio. Remember, we first started the Rational Radio for premium on a Monday. We always did the global webinar. I remember the first one we did was not the first one, but the value, the intrinsic, which is still listened to today or watched on YouTube. Shows the value of an archive as well with the content. But webinars for sure, Alec. I think we probably stuck on GoTo because we've been with them for so long, and there's so many new technologies, but it works, I think, and the technology is good. So yeah, webinars.
But even this technology, which is quite cool, is that people can come in and talk, and we don't on a webinar we can't really. I suppose you could, but
I think it depends on the discussion you want to have, Alec. Because at least with the webinar, you can feed back into it. It's not like you sit there muted. You can send questions, and I think that's what works nicely with the webinar, the portfolio. But if you opened up all the mics, we won't mention what it could be.
Just after COVID hit, Tito Mboweni had a press conference from Treasury. And clearly they weren't sure how these mics would work. And so what they did was they opened everybody's mics. And you actually had guys with radios in the background, kids screaming. Tito tried to give a talk. And as he would talk for a little bit more, there'd be a wah, or a dog bark. So he'd stop. And then this cacophony of sound coming through. And then he'd begin again. He had a script that he was going to get through no matter what. And people would then be talking to someone else in the room. It's quite funny if you get, and these are journalists who supposedly at a press conference, which it was. So we've all learned a heck of a lot through COVID and how those kind of things work. And certainly as far as webinars work. But I think our biggest webinar,
well, we probably unfortunately picked the wrong setting for what would have been our biggest webinar, but because we are limited with seats, because again, 1,000 was the limit, and we've hit that twice, and 3,000 is the other limit, and I'm not sure if we've hit 3,000 yet.
But remember, with the Laurie Dippenaar, with the first Rand tour, we went onto that website on the 3,000, and there was certainly over 1,500.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We've never broken 3,000, which I think we might have
with Magnus. But it's going back to the early days when we literally would get 20 people and we'd be excited that it was 20 people have actually come in and come to visit the webinar and see what was going on.
Yeah, it's interesting. But it's COVID. You never want to look at the good things that came out of it. But there's been so much progress with COVID forcing the home office users pushed into places that they would never have willfully gone, and it's actually worked in our favor as well, because we were trying to do these things before it, but it's literally fast-tracked everything on the webinar side.
But just think of a room with 1,500 people in it. It's a lot of people.
Well, with that Magnus webinar, the total people were how many? 1,300. And so what was happening was that if someone would fall off, there was immediately someone else who would come in. So we kind of messed it up, but we try. It's like this today. It's been a lot of fun celebrating our birthday on a remote basis, and look at this. Who knows? Next year, we might have a different innovation to attempt. Maybe a hall.
So, Alec, before we go and say goodbye to everyone, what's your dream? Where are you taking us to in the future?
My dream is that we continue serving our community. Being a financial journalist is is a fantastic thing, because you get exposed to the greatest minds in the field that you are focusing on. So in my respect, it's business. And and it's not just by being directly in touch with them, but sometimes you read a lot, like Steve Jobs. I'm a huge Steve Jobs fan, and certainly that Isaacson book on Steve Jobs changed my life. If having read that biography, I understood him for the first time, and I understood how he was a really tough, horrible person up until when he married Laureen, and his whole life changed, because it was no longer all about me, me, me. It was then a lot more balanced and focused. And I think when you're young and you're ambitious, you lose the balance. So what I'm hoping for that we could do as a team is become better balanced. That's always something to strive towards when you are in media and we get accused of pushing one line or the other. Actually, Stu, we don't give a toss about the line, do we? We just want to give a platform.
Exactly. I forget the name of the good and the bad. You spoke about
Janus.
Janus.
The two faces of Janus.
Exactly. And I think that's the middle ground is something you strive for, but it's not something you always attain. But as long as you're as close to the middle as possible, and giving both sides will allow you to find that middle.
And giving both sides the opportunity to express themselves. Yep. If it weren't for us, Nick Hudson would be pretty much unknown, because Nick Hudson has had the ability, and he's a very bright guy. He's an actuary, which people like me could only have dreamt of being able to aspire. I think your son's a bit clever at maths. So you think about an actuary. Does he get it from you, Clive?
No, my son. No, I think he gets it from his mother.
But certainly it's those guys they've got something. They've got an insight that we don't have, and it would have been lost. And there's a heck of a lot that Nick has said and Panda has said, which would have not been expressed. So that's one of the advantages. But by the same token, we've had epidemiologists who you had Alan Whiteside, even on the show today, on the little program today. We've given them all the opportunity. What I've found has been funny, though, in COVID, is that a lot of Nick's critics are not prepared to go on the record. They're not prepared to actually be, to say it, to be exposed. And it's not often that we publish anonymous things, but the anonymous letters that we published last month were unusual. But the person who wrote them, and none of you know, nobody knows, excepting for myself, who Niemoller is, the person who wrote them would be terribly exposed if it were to, if their identity were to be given out. In the same way, if you remember when we were doing a lot of work on the sale of the South African strategic oil reserves.
Yeah.
Similarly, we had an oil trader who would never have been able to continue being an oil trader had they been identified. So in that case, we ran those articles on the way that Zuma and his cohorts were just robbing the country blind of the strategic oil reserves, which at the time was sold for, I think it was $26 a barrel, which was already $10 below what the oil price was at. And they were pocketing the difference. So it's been an interesting kind of exercise and an interesting journey. We don't always identify everyone, but I've just brought in Nigel van Wyk. Now, he was at school with Jeanette and I. Nigel's Mark van Wyk's younger brother. How are you, Nigel? Good to see you, man.
Good to hear. It's good to hear you again.
Yeah. So you're living in the UK now?
Indeed, I am. Yeah. Up in sunny Birmingham.
That's Brummy Birmingham, isn't it?
And so what football team do you support in Birmingham? Is it Aston Villa or Birmingham City?
Neither. I support Queen's Park Rangers, and unfortunately we're in the championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Clive knows the same. He's also got a tough team that he supports.
Yeah, but it's not too far from West Ham. So when we get up, we'll have to go visit a derby one day, Alec.
Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Unfortunately, every time I've been to see West Ham, barring once, they've lost. So anyway, be good for Queen's Park Rangers. Good stuff, Nigel. Good to see you, man, and long way from Newcastle.
Yeah, it is. It's although I must admit it was a pleasure going back there. We had a school reunion. It was a couple of years ago before all this COVID stuff. So it was good to catch up with some really good people, from our class, your class as well. So yeah, it was magic to see the changes in Newcastle. But yeah, it was lovely.
I don't think anybody that we were at school with would have believed that I could have snatched Jeanette, this hot chick.
No.
Exactly. And here she is.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. She wants to finish it off now. Great stuff, Nigel. Well, thanks for your support, man, and lovely to see you.
Yeah, good to catch up with you, Alec. You take care, and congratulations on 8 years and all the great advice and success and all those good things that you do. It keeps us expats all the way up to speed with what's going on in the country and giving us a great a different perspective from what we just hear in the UK news and things like that. So I really appreciate that. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Nigel. Nigel van Wyk, his brother, the late brother, Mark, was one of my very closest friends growing up. We played for the second cricket side, Newcastle Junior, Standard 4.
Newcastle second.
You must know. But it was Standard 4. In Standard 5, we got into that first side. But in Standard 4, Clive, we used to score, we opened the batting, Mark and I, his brother, and we used to score more runs through byes and no balls than we ever got off the bat. So you can see it kind of puts me in my little box, doesn't it?
No.
But isn't it amazing how people from your past?
Well, the technology is unbelievable. And I'm sitting here, having a lot of fun. You've had 2 calls out of the UK, and our community. It shows, we look at stats all the time. But America, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, South Africa, we get across all of them. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it has transformed. I mean, Stu, you started, did you work at the Star? Were you in the newsroom there?
Sure. So my first year at uni, I did a stint at the Star. I think Anne Crotty, early days and stuff, in the business report section. So yeah, I've been to Sour Street. Then just journeyed from there. But yeah, it's been a long, 20 odd years now. So
I'm not saying how long I've been there. But what I can tell you though, Kerry, is that the first office I was in at the Citizen in Hyde Street, there was a Reuters ticker. That was our source of news, and it used to go ding, ding, ding with a bell every time there was some important news that came through.
I just get a
I would
ping.
have loved that. You know me, I'm such a Tyrannosaurus Rex when it comes to this stuff. We had an old teletext machine when I first started working. Do you remember those?
Of course.
You used to punch holes out, and then you used to have to feed the tape back through the machine to get the message to whomever in London or New York or wherever it was you were sending it. It was not even a fax.
Well, those days, if you had a very important story that you were scared about, you had to type it in the telex because there were no faxes. So you type in the telex message.
I know.
And it would then go to whoever it was to make sure that they were happy that you didn't get sued through their telex machine as well.
Wow.
So I really feel like, Didi, I mean, really,
Yeah, let's
this is
stop
like,
this nonsense. Let's
enough
talk about
already.
tomorrow, rather.
I was asked Judy if she knows what a telex is.
No
was gonna
idea.
say-
Dude, I'm sitting here thinking, are you speaking Greek? I do not know any of that.
And a
Don't you?
fax?
A fax actually do know.
You do.
What it
Okay.
did do, though, is that it produced a lot of very, very fast, accurate typists because you couldn't make a mistake. There was no autocorrect. There was no nothing. You
I can
could not
imagine.
make a mistake. No spell check.
Wow. At least I know a fax.
Okay, well, we've had our hour with the community. Thanks, guys, wherever in the world you might be, for joining us today and for supporting us over the last 8 years. And we look forward to having a different birthday party next year. What have you got in mind, Jet?
Lee's going to do some pole dancing and doo-doo.
I'm up for that, Kerry. I'm up for that.
Thanks again. Until the next time. Cheerio.